This is not high energy, Nathan. It's the opposite of high energy.
There we go. Hey, hello guys, what's up? Welcome to the first official VR podcast on the channel, in VR or not in VR, depends on how you watch it. But yeah, welcome guys to the real one. The one we did before was like a test pilot where Frank got attacked by his girlfriend. But yeah, let me introduce everyone. We are going to talk about VR, AR. It's going to be really cool. We're going to talk about GTA 6. We're going to talk about custom Rift headphones, Noire, and so much more. It's going to be a great episode. So yes, I'm here together with the one and only Prison Boss King, Rowdy Guy, VR, killing it on YouTube right now, fast-growing VR channel. 1 million in 6 months. We got the virtual oasis. If you want to go deeper into the rabbit hole, then check out this channel. Links are in the description below to all the channels, by the way. We got Prometheus TV.
Hello.
Well, yeah, that's Prometheus TV.
There's not much to say there. Let's move on.
Yeah, and then we got the one and only, the real PSVR expert. Like the guy to go for VR stuff. PSVR Frank. It's the Frank Show. What? The Frank Show?
Come on.
Come on.
That's the spirit. Okay. Anyway, Mike, shoot it off. Let's do this.
Yeah, that was a really good intro, man.
Yeah, that was killer.
I know, right?
That was nice.
You were all worried about it and shit.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, welcome, guys. How are you all doing? How's everyone doing today?
Oh, doing great.
I'm doing great.
Doing great, Mike.
It's good to see you all, man. So we're going to kick off the show with LA Noire. This week, Rockstar announced that they're going to be developing their very first virtual reality game, which is super, super exciting. So LA Noire is going to be their first voyage into VR. And I don't know if you guys have already played LA Noire before.
Is this
Yeah.
I thought it was being ported over. Is this like a brand new LA Noire?
No, it's like 6 missions or something, right?
That's right. So Frank's right in that it's going to be 7 cases from the original game that are remade for VR, and it's going to be launched on the 14th of November for the HTC Vive. No announcement for Oculus or PSVR right now, but you know, if it launches on Steam, chances are it'll probably work with the Oculus too. I think, you know, like LA Noire, okay, it was an okay game. I kind of had fun with it. I don't think it's particularly exciting that, you know, they've got this port of the game coming out in VR. But I think the most exciting thing about this announcement is that Rockstar are taking virtual reality seriously. And, you know, if this is successful, then we may get other Rockstar games come to virtual reality. And I think that's the most exciting thing about this. So if you think about their franchises, you've got Red Dead Redemption, you've got GTA, you've got Max Payne, which is something that I would be super excited to see in VR. And you've also got some really other shady games like Manhunt, for example. Like, imagine a Manhunt game in VR. Like,
wait, Rockstar made Manhunt?
Oh yeah.
No way, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
If you want some controversy, you know, in the industry,
that's a throwback.
Then Manhunt would be the game to release to cause some serious
Could you imagine
media
what they could
panic.
do for controversy in VR? Oh boy,
yeah,
that'd be the first game to never make it out of development.
Oh yeah, they would not make it anywhere.
I mean,
but it's like you say, indeed. Like, I mean, it's not that we're also excited that it's LA Noire that is coming to VR. It's just that we see another big game company that starts making VR content with a lot of like great titles, and that is the exciting thing.
Yeah, and because I knew it was going to be LA Noire. There's no way in my mind, because they spent the most money on that game. They spent like billion, or like, I don't know if it's that high.
10 billion.
So much money.
A small
because they
$10
created that
billion
whole, right? Because they had that whole new tracking system and the way to like scan the faces in for LA Noire. They completely like changed up the game, and then I think it sold. So they were like, well, I know how to make our money back. VR.
This voice.
But, I mean, it still sounds like a safe attempt to start off with a VR game, because La Noire is not their biggest title.
Yeah.
You know, like GTA 6 would be like the way to go. But I mean, it's very exciting, and I think they are going to show off like new mechanics that we haven't seen before, because they could, like, I think that AAA developers or companies are going to set the standard for VR, also movement way, you know, or in a way where you interact with stuff. Right now we got like the indie developers and like some medium-sized devs doing some cool stuff, but if they are going, like, they got different ideas, because they have been working on VR for a while. They have seen it grow. They did some crazy things before, I guess. You know, we will see like leaked prototypes later on where they said like, yeah, but GTA 6, you know, they were working on that. Or GTA 5 maybe. I mean, when GTA 5 came out, VR also started to grow real fast. So no, but I'm very excited too. Yeah.
And it's also, it's probably not gonna be like an open world into exploring like LA Noire is. It's probably gonna be exactly those like case files, and you need to like look around in a room to be
like Tomb Raider, probably.
I think it's gonna be more like that. Yeah.
Well, remember what Nathan said last week, where like the open world thing only works if you actually develop and take the time to do all of it, because he was saying like when he went into Skyrim, it all felt like it was just staged, that little area. So it's better almost to just work on the tiny areas and make that right than trying to do the open world.
And especially with like Noire, it's like a third-person game, so porting that one is going to take even longer. It will be a very awkward game if you would do it like that. So by doing a standalone experience, I'm not sure if you should call it a game, but it's good promotion, and it can be nicely bundled with, for example, a Vive, or I hope it's going to come to the PlayStation VR as well. I think so. I mean, it's just an exclusive.
I do too. Exactly. And it's a PS3 game, right?
So
why?
But why are they not? Do you guys think that HTC paid for this title to be only on Vive for a while, or like named as that?
I don't know.
I don't see Oculus anywhere.
No,
HTC doesn't do a whole lot of those exclusives, right? I mean,
yeah, no, but Oculus grew from all those exclusives lately, so I wonder if they're like, maybe we got to do this. Maybe this is what we're missing. Because really, Fallout 4 is an exclusive, LA Noire is an exclusive, kind of made me like, oh, Vive would be pretty cool, because those sound awesome. You know what I mean? And that's smart.
The thing is it really going to be exclusive? Because, I mean, if it works on the Vive, it will most likely work on Oculus as well.
Yeah,
but that you're right, and there's probably tons of people that will find a way to play it. But then there's your handful of consumers that aren't going to go through the trouble of doing that, and they're like, it only works on Vive.
And that's the thing with Oculus exclusives as well, right? Like, you know, the Vive community has had Revive, and that's worked really, really well. And I know Oculus aren't actively pursuing blocking it anymore, because they think it is just detrimental to the VR industry as a whole. So I think, you know, although they say it's releasing for HTC Vive, and I think it's going to be the same with Fallout 4 as well, I think we'll just find that it will work with the Oculus from day one, I would imagine. I'd be surprised if it doesn't, put it that way.
Yeah,
I heard some stuff about Fallout and PlayStation. So I knew a guy that went to the GameStop Expo out in Las Vegas, and he said that they really are pushing for PlayStation. They just don't want to announce because it's not optimized whatsoever yet.
Mm. Yeah, I think Nathan even said that it wasn't even that optimized for PC right now.
No.
So.
No.
But yeah, the interesting thing about LA Noire, I think, as a gameplay mechanic was, you know, if you're in a crime scene and you're actually looking around, finding evidence, and then interviewing suspects. And the great thing I remember about playing LA Noire the first time was that the motion capture on the faces were just like top notch.
Yeah.
So. And I think actually being there and having that feeling of presence within virtual reality, and then sort of seeing those facial expressions, you can kind of get that sense if a suspect's lying to you or not. And I think that's actually probably the most interesting thing to come out of LA Noire's announcement is, you know, interviewing suspects and seeing those tiny little movements in their facial expressions to see if they're lying or not.
I bet they'll have some kind of eye tracking a little bit too that they'll update, because that'd be cool with them like watching you while you're in the room with them.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do that very well.
Yeah,
I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. But I mean, would this be like a kickoff for? I think they are going to release this first, see how it gets received, because Rockstar wants to hit like a certain amount of sales, I guess, before this is starting to get interesting. But I mean, they already did it, so I think they are pretty sure about what they are doing right now. But I think that,
And if they
like,
build
I think
one
that they
game,
are
they
going.
gotta make it
Don't.
easier.
I'm not going to. We will not see any full VR games from Rockstar. Just experiences. Same with maybe GTA 6, where they got a new storyline and you can play an extra kind of little game, you know, where you play in VR as a promotion thing.
But that's not a bad thing because I mean, Resident Evil 7 did that with their last game on the PlayStation VR, and it
Yeah.
was a huge success there. I mean, they had like those numbers, then you could see like how much they were adding
over
up,
10%
how
of
many
players
people.
play VR.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
true.
insane.
Yeah, that's true.
I
but
think
that's-
as well, like you know, they've announced seven cases from the original game that they've rebuilt for VR from the ground up. So I think it's going to be more substantial than an experience, because from remembering playing the original game, it probably took about 45 minutes to an hour per case. So like a 7-hour game, you know, is probably more than most full VR games that are out at the moment. So I think that could be really, really good.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, we will see. We'll see.
So
It depends as well. It's like how replayable is it? I
And
guess.
how obvious is the game?
There's like
too?
different ways.
Yeah. So out of Rockstar's extensive library, which are the games that you would be excited the most? Red Dead.
Red Dead. Everything
Okay.
about Red Dead is amazing.
Yeah, Red Dead were pretty damn awesome, man.
Never played it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, GTA would be cool, but I've heard some people said that GTA in VR is a little intense.
Nathan knows.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Does it work on PSX? I wonder if you could try it like that.
Well, right now there's like a mod for GTA where you can play with motion controllers, single player only, by the way. I mean, online is
What?
totally like
That's
sealed.
cool.
You can still play that with like far backs if you want. But yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can just shoot out of a car and also use a steering wheel in the meanwhile.
I played that, but it didn't really work that well for me.
No.
I mean, there was like some glitches.
But if
as well,
if that would be there in GTA 6, then it would already be a very interesting game to play in VR from time to time. You
Yeah,
know, so yeah, if they keep that in mind as an extra, because that's the thing, Rockstar doesn't seem to like mods that much anymore. So or they do it themselves, or they
It's
totally
not
seal the
Rockstar,
game, and
right? It's their publisher that has an issue with it.
okay.
Who's Rockstar's publisher? Because you remember when they had that whole
Yeah,
mod?
no, but that's what I'm talking about. So it's like, or they are going to seal the whole game and you will not be able to mod on it anymore, or they do it themselves, or it doesn't happen at all. So we will see. But honestly, I'm excited for like maybe some kind of Max Payne experience,
Yeah.
and then going back to like the first two games. Because it's really dark, that could work really well, you know.
I want to pick up on something real quick because we got a comment here. Since we said like LA Noire is like one of the most expensive video games ever made, we had John Schumer here who said that BBC News reporter Kev Geoghegan, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but anyway, estimated that the development budget for the game exceeded $50 million, making LA Noire one of the most expensive video games ever made.
That is crazy. That's so much money.
$50 million.
But they
Exactly.
$50 million.
So you got to make some bank back. That's the reason that they're pushing LA Noire 100%. But I mean, it's still cool, and I think it'll still be fun. But yeah, you guys know that. that's what
But
they're doing.
like
But
so the Lenoir thing is based on the old game. But then if I think a little further into this whole like conspiracy of mine, it's like Fallout.
Everybody get your tinfoil hats.
It's getting remastered, right, Lenoir, together with like this VR experience. But then we are getting the same kind of tricks where Fallout comes out as a remaster, you know, and it's like VR.
Oh, so
it's
instead
like,
of making a new game, they're
so it's like
remastering.
when
Yeah.
something gets remastered, then it's suddenly time to bring out an extra VR experience.
But that's the thing. That's how those like big game developers like test the waters.
Yeah.
They want to like
It's the
first
only
see
way.
how titles that they know that did well or that they invest a lot of money in. Either way, they're gonna try and like expand that into a VR platform, which I don't see that necessarily as a bad thing. It would be a bad thing if they would then say afterwards, okay, it doesn't work. VR is not the way to go. That would be a bad.
Did you guys, speaking about money in VR, did you guys see I Expect You to Die was the second game to hit over $1 million in revenue?
really.
That's cool.
Yeah. So another VR game has hit it. So did Job Simulator.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, because they're both from indies, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's got to show people that there's a chance in VR right now.
That's
too.
interesting. I Expect You to Die. I mean, that's not a game everyone knows
I've never even played
compared
it.
to Job
it's-
Simulator. I mean,
Exactly. But it really is Job Simulator Secret Agent version. So like anybody that tries it, they're like, oh damn, this
and I
is
did.
I played it. I played it, and I did actually really well on my channel as well for some reason.
Yeah, it's fun. So
It's a fun game. It's a very fun game.
Well, you were locked up, so of course it works on your channel. But no, but anyway, like they also rebooted the game twice. You know, they had like the DK2, and then they had like the CV1, and then they also added like touch support or like a PSVR move support. You know.
Yeah.
So it's on the PlayStation 2, right?
Wait, which one?
I Expect You to Die.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation 2, and it works flawlessly, dude. And it's like, it's crisp. It's one of the best games out there.
So they branched out at the right moments where the game just starts to slow down a bit, where no one is buying it anymore. They just like, bam, now we got VR support, or bam, now we got CV1 support. So they
and I think they won like best game too, or some kind of game of the year award or something, which does I think help. But I don't know. But I met the guys when I was at PAX. They were cool guys.
Yeah,
it's like a 2-man team or something.
Yeah.
Talking about PSVR games, Frank, the releases this week. Don't Knock Twice was released for HTC, Vive, Oculus, and PSVR. And I think I saw that you were live streaming that game.
Yeah, I always stream them. But and it was okay, man. It was better than Paranormal, 100%. Just because like I had more fun with it. But I didn't get scared.
No.
I don't know if it's me because I don't get scared by games, but no, it was just.
I would definitely get scared. I got scared just watching you play. Like,
hey Frank, let me ask you this: these guys didn't know. Did you know that was actually a movie?
Yeah, I knew that was a movie.
But
I never saw the movie. But yeah.
The movie wasn't that great, but I'm actually excited because also this game has been in development for a long time, and they actually had a demo of Don't Knock Twice that came out like a month or two after the Vive came out or something. It was way long ago, and it was actually really good.
But they say nobody's got. PC might have full motion control. I don't know if you guys got it yet or not, but PSVR is supposed to get it like the 28th or something, and that's that. But I think they should have held off because I personally will probably not replay it. You know what I mean? Even though it's probably going to be way better with full locomotion, I probably won't replay because there's going to be something else about that time.
How long is it?
Like 2 hours or so. Nothing crazy.
We just
finished it.
Push through. Yeah, I finished it live the other night. It's just cold. I'm tired of the cold dick stuff.
We just got a sponsored message as well from C-Top. He's in the chat as well.
Hey, C-Top.
C-Top, what's happening, man?
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, man.
What's up, my dude?
In these bare times, you know, with no ads, and when Frank, his girlfriend, comes in again, then this video is getting claimed right away. That's very nice.
We're gonna try hard not to this time.
Yeah. No, but like that Don't Knock Twice game, I mean, is it like a really like advertisement for the movie, or just more like subtle, you know, where
it's subtle. It's not bad at all. They do not push it in your face, which was nice.
Well, what's strange about that
pushed
is
it in your face.
If you were going to make a game based off a movie, wouldn't you want it to come out sometime around when the movie came out? I mean, that movie came out ages ago.
Yeah, but I have the feeling they didn't really wanted to promote the movie, just buy like a license of that movie and then use that to make a little game, and that's it.
It's just so like they weren't making a horror game with absolutely no connection to anything in the world.
Yeah,
So
that's what I think. That's what they were planning to do. Yeah. Yeah.
And how did you find the puzzles in it? It's advertised as like a kind of scary puzzle game. How did you find the puzzles in it? Were they challenging or not so much?
No, not so much, man. They're all those horror game puzzles are easy. Even Resident Evil 7 challenges or puzzles were not that hard because they're putting more into the atmosphere than they are your like thought process with the puzzles. So if you're just like if I bet if I was on edge, I'd be like, oh man, what do I gotta do? But because I have a calm head, it's just like, oh, this goes here, this goes there, done.
Wait a minute, you said it's a movie?
Yeah.
Don't Knock is a movie.
I've never heard of that.
Not a particularly good one either.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a B horror film.
It's a B. Okay.
Whereas I think Paranormal Activities for me I thought the movie was pretty good, but I didn't rate the game at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the movie. I never watched it just because I don't like that whole like, we just shot this in our house with a handy cam. Yeah, come on, man. Put a
it's
little
played
bit more
out.
work into your
Paranormal Activity was the first one to do it, and they themselves killed it. It's
like Blair Witch
every
was
2 months.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
It's ridiculous how many movies they put in such a small span of time doing the found footage thing.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So Frank, on the good news, I hear you won a PC.
Oh, dude, yeah. I want a PC, so I finally got to enter that world.
So tell us how you ended up winning that and what you intend to do with your new prize.
Oh, man. I got the luckiest thing ever. So I got a spam email on one of my random email accounts from Alienware Arena that was like, hey, win a PC with a screenshot from Lawbreakers. And I was like, oh, I bought Lawbreakers on a whim the other day. I could do that. And so I just kind of like played 3 rounds of the game and then just kind of went through all my own footage and was like, oh, man, frame by frame. Oh, man, that looks pretty awesome. And then just cut it. And you had to write like a little caption for it. And then I just mentioned it on the channel and I won. And then I sent them an email last night because they had no feedback whatsoever. They were like, we're going to update the scores on the channel. We're going to put the winner on here. And they didn't update their thing at all. So I emailed them and was like, hey, who won? And they were like, hey, ironically enough, you won. Great job. Fill out this paperwork. And so
you're not going to believe it, but you're the
That's awesome.
Which
man.
is pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Which is cool. Yeah, so I'm excited. And then so it's just gonna help live streams. Like right now, even with these kind of things, it'll probably be 1,000 times better because I'm working on such a crummy computer. Not crummy, but just not future proof.
Right. And the PC that you won is an Alienware machine, is it?
Yeah, it's like an Alienware Aurora, and as you guys know, I know nothing about PCs, so hopefully I'll like slowly learn little by little once I have one.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a PC since I was like 10.
I can tell you now that Alienware stuff is legit. Like, it's going to be some good stuff, man. It's going to be brilliant stuff. So I'm excited for you. So that brings me on to my next question, which is now.
Wait, Mike. Is it me or is your microphone glitching?
Yeah.
Okay, see, it wasn't just me. I thought it was just me.
It's pretty rough.
Is this even now? No.
He has a new studio in the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mikey Days.
Okay, I don't know.
He's going
I think it's probably my potato internet. Apologies, guys.
Yeah.
But the question that I was going to ask you, Frank, was what HD do you think you're going to get with your new PC? Are you going to create some Vive content or some Oculus content? What are you sort of planning?
Well, I already got the Oculus content, so I got the Rift report, which is my like daily Oculus news, and Vive. Well, I was thinking maybe like do the Rift news, do the PlayStation VR community, and then maybe do some Vive gameplay. But honestly, I don't know. It's mostly my main reason is just to fix my live streams because my live streams are trash right now. I'm live streaming at like 360p with like gameplay that constantly glitches out. Yeah, it's horrible. Like, and I'm not PewDiePie, so I can't get away with it. So I'm hoping to like fix that and actually be able to run OBS because right now I have to do it all through the game capture. So that's what I'm excited about. Plus, don't get me wrong, PC VR, I cannot wait, but I'm overwhelmed with how much PlayStation stuff we have.
Yeah, definitely,
like,
man.
It's starting to get cranked out right now.
Oculus need to jump on that and send you an Oculus for quick time so you can get recording some Oculus content.
Because Oculus is comfy.
Yeah. So moving on very quickly as well on to YouTube drama. So a lot of us YouTube creators have had a lot of problems this week. I haven't personally had any issues myself, but I know a lot of you guys have. So it might be interesting to talk about that very quickly because YouTube seems to be claiming a lot of videos now and flagging appropriate content and not advertiser-friendly content. So what kind of experience have you guys found this week in relation to
that? For me, I think about 20 to 30 videos got like flagged as like not advertiser-friendly, under which my highly controversial 100 subs celebration video, which is of course not done on YouTube. I don't know how the algorithm exactly works, but it's clearly not fine-tuned. But a lot of the videos that got claimed for me were like videos that didn't have a lot of views anyway, or like fairly old. None of them. Well, I mean, a few of the more recent ones, but not like any of the videos that like pull in like a lot of the views. So I'm not really affected by it in that way. But yeah, I mean, it's quite bad at the moment, I guess, for a lot of YouTubers.
How about any of your prison bots?
No. We haven't gone that far into prison yet.
That's good. That's good.
I'm holding
Yeah, I
tight
think
to the
we're
soap.
safe for the most part. I read somewhere that anybody that uploads a Destiny 2 video immediately gets flagged.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
looking for certain like names, things you say, or. But I mean,
Happy
most
wheels.
videos are totally nonsense. It's just an automated system that wants to learn from what we tell it to do. You know. But
I mean, they have it for phones too, if you think about it, because our government's got the one where if anybody says something like racy or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say anything bad that'll get the video flagged, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they have that for phones. Like, Homeland Security's got it to where, like, if they hear something on a phone, they can like jump in. I feel like our algorithms do it.
This is where we see Frankie get swatted live on air.
I know, right?
Is that a thing? I've never heard of that.
no.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy.
So how about you, Nathan? Because obviously you're like a full-time YouTuber. You know that this is your job. So this is your like income. You know, how is it affecting you right now?
I mean, I made around like 700-800 videos that are like at least like live right now. I made like 2,000 in total that are, some of them are like hidden, but I didn't get that many claims, like 20, and I was able to like appeal around 7 so far. The rest is like still in like some kind of request system, but
Oh yeah, I did that as well. I appealed all of them.
it seems like YouTube doesn't really like it when we play VR zombie games, you know, or something gun related. Then it's like, you know,
Oh,
kind of. But it also depends on how much views you get and stuff like that. I mean, there was a video that got claimed that I didn't upload at all. And there was the same video that was uploaded with a lot of views, didn't get claimed. So it depends on how YouTube feels, to be honest. But I didn't get
Yeah,
hit
that's
hard
crazy.
yet. I mean, it depends. If they keep on having this system, you know, where it just needs to learn all the time. Like if you do it full time, you can't do this for like, let's say 6 months, you know, because you are losing in a way, and that kind of sucks. But I'm sure this will be like a really positive effect in the end. And I think it already creates a positive effect. You just don't really see it that well.
Yeah.
So it's not
I
that
hope
Yeah,
bad.
like the crummier channels that are making bad stuff are probably just going to go whoop straight to the bottom. You know what
That
I
would be
mean? It's just
wonderful.
going to be a little while before it really works.
But let's take a friend of the channel, a friend of us all, Josh Dubb, for example. You know, he is a very entertaining VR channel, but he happens to swear a lot in his videos. You know, like personally, I'm fine with it, and I find his content very funny. But you know, I would imagine him and also Viper as well, another friend of us all. You know, their content is very funny, but I can see why a lot of their content would be flagged as inappropriate for advertisement. And I think potentially, you know, I really hope that doesn't put those content creators away from the platform, because, you know, they are very entertaining and they have a big following as well. So it would be interesting to see what happens with that.
It's also it's a strange way that they're taking it, because they're so overprotective over like the YouTube platform. While if you for example watch television and you're watching a movie, the ads that go in between there, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a horror movie or it's an action movie or like, you know, whatever kind of movie it is, or if there's swear words in there, the ads won't change. It's completely unrelated. While for a YouTube
you would think, but all the ads that you see on TV are actually kind of related and placed at certain points at certain times. You know what I mean? So like they know what they're doing with the ads on TV.
For
It's the
every
exact
movie.
same. Not every movie, but most major networks, yeah, every single minute of ad space has been sold. Unless it's one of those like open ad spaces that like your cable provider sells those ads and puts them in. But like
I agree with that, but I meant like more like the type of ad that they put in the time slot.
Oh yeah, it's
think that
targeted
is as
towards
well?
the demographic watching the show. Yeah. I
because
mean,
those
you
will
just
be-
may not be that demographic.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, everything on TV is even more targeted than YouTube. YouTube's trying really hard, but yeah,
It might also be different in the US than in Europe, maybe, because here, I mean,
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're right. EU TV is nuts, man. It's crazy, especially like in Italy. Let's say is the only channel I've ever watched TV, and then like 90% of the channels are just live girls.
yeah.
Like,
And now we know why you watch those channels.
And you can't escape it. It's just like, oh, BBC TV, oh, call me. And it's just, how did that happen? What country am I in?
That was a big thing in the US for a long time too, especially if you watched anything past like 10 o'clock. You remember every single one was a girl sitting on a couch having a really genuine conversation with somebody on the other end of the line, you know?
That's crazy, man.
They're just what favorite biscuits they like. That's all they're talking about.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And for some reason, she's dressed up to stay in and talk on the phone, which makes perfect sense, you know?
Biscuit attire. That's all it is.
That's it. That's for rolling them and baking them. You got to good clothes.
So moving on, I wanted to guys, and I'm interested to know your guys' opinions as well on mixed reality headsets. So these new headsets that are coming out from Dell, Lenovo, HP, Acer, and Asus, they're all branded as mixed reality headsets. So they're kind of VR headsets. They've got cameras on the front of them. So I'm intrigued.
You mean like the Vive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not mixed reality. It's just another VR headset.
That's exactly the issue that I have with it as well. They're trying to give it like some kind of different name.
That makes it very confusing.
So confusing.
But it's the same
it's
thing.
just a
Super
VR headset.
too. I agree
They're
with
calling
you.
it mixed reality because what? Maybe it can do some augmented reality stuff. That doesn't make it mixed reality. It makes no sense. I think they're just trying to like catch that name.
Yeah, they're stupid, man.
It's so confusing.
Well, for me, like mixed reality was like Survivor keying himself into the void, and now suddenly it's like a headset, and I mean, like, is mixed reality augmented reality now? Is that like the same thing? I think so. Then, because I mean,
that's what they're trying to sell it as.
Create,
exactly. It's weird.
But that name maybe sells better in a way. But like augmented reality can have also a lot of farms, because those headsets they are selling now are ones that use, like, your eyes are looking through that screen, and that screen gets projected through those two cameras on the side. So you have virtual eyes basically. And with like augmented reality, with the HoloLens, for example, it's you're looking through glasses. It's getting projected on there. So then they need to start dividing that, because right now it's a clusterfuck in a way. You know, there's no clear.
Which is a pain.
But it's nice they're already cheap.
It's confusing.
It is.
The one issue I heard is it's not going to have Steam support at launch, right? So you guys are there's no Steam at launch.
Why? That makes no sense. Isn't it all open? Isn't Steam made it like very easy to add that support to any headset?
I don't know. That's just what I was reading.
Always VR. It's just
that's what I read.
I think I read that it will be, but like you say, it could be conflicting. But they're like, I know that they're releasing sets from the 17th of October, and they're going to be released throughout, the end of the year and early next year. So they'll all be out by, early next year. And I think the price roughly is around $399 with the sort of version of their controllers. The one interesting thing about these headsets, I think, is that it's got inside-out tracking. So you don't need any light hands, you don't need any sensors. The tracking is basically from inside the headset. So in a way, I think that would be easier for new VR to get into VR. But it could also be damaging if the headsets aren't up to scratch. Like, I know the panel resolution is very similar to the Oculus and the Vive, but if they don't perform as well, then that could ultimately be damaging for the industry. So it will be interesting to see what happens when they come out. But also as well, like, most of them don't come with audio or microphones. They have like a jack that you have to slot into to provide your own headset. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that's a good thing about the headsets too, is that, like, like with PlayStation VR, I know that they have a microphone. Like, you can, like, I can be like, dude, I know you have a microphone. We all have one, so don't even play around and like you can say I don't want to talk, but I know, which is nice. It's the first time where I'm guaranteed that the person I'm playing with has a mic, whereas in the past, half the people didn't have mics or they were trash.
Plus, it's also like, if you're not a gamer or something and you hear Asus headset or Acer headset, you might have no idea what that brand is and not even want to bother with it. There's so many headsets now coming out that, like, if you have no idea what VR is, how do you know what headset to buy at this point?
You can tell one looks cool. It's all going to be which one looks cool to you.
And also, I mean, the inside out tracking, I've tried a couple of headsets. Now, none of the headsets that you actually listed, but I've tried like, you know, some prototypes of like some companies that are trying to develop. And up until now, I have not tried a single one that I actually had accurate tracking with. I always had tracking loss, always had. But I mean, I can't speak, of course, for those headsets, because if they make it commercial, then maybe indeed, you know, they fix those problems. But the ones that I tried, they were not.
I mean, what do you get for that price? Because it's so cheap. You know,
you get the headset
You
and
get what you pay for. You always
so
will,
right
yeah.
now, like let's say I want to buy a headset, so I should buy that mixed reality headset instead of a Rift.
Exactly. No, it's untested, and that's what people are going to do. They're not. You know what I mean? It's going to be your lower end consumers. And the thing is, the smart move they would make is if they could make the Xbox One X work with those Windows mixed reality.
Yeah,
and they would sell tons of them. But that's going to be what they need to do. They hit console market.
Yeah, that's true. But I think they are going to make their own in the end. First, people said like, "Hey, the Rift is coming out," and they are listing like an Oculus controller now with the bundle. So everyone's like, "Whoa, it's gonna be an Xbox One thing." No, they're gonna build something themselves. But I mean, I think it's smart that they are still waiting with that, because I mean, let's be honest, the PlayStation VR works, but it's not like high-end VR yet.
No, it's not high-end VR at all.
The light tracking and stuff, it's still kind of tricky. So if Xbox waits a little longer and then joins, then I think it's not. But I mean, it starts to crumble a bit. They need to be fast, you know. They need to come up with
Phil Spencer's already said that he's not into it. He said it's a PC game. So I don't know. But if he's just BSing
marketing
and just marketing,
team thinks otherwise.
Exactly. I know, exactly.
I don't really agree with that, because I still, even though maybe PlayStation is indeed not like the high end, I would still consider it to be VR though.
Yeah, it works perfect.
Yeah. I don't think any of us would say
games
that.
are no issue whatsoever.
Yeah. Just saying like high end, because there's a difference between, you know immediately the difference between PSVR and like an HTC Vive. Like it's very noticeable.
But you also immediately know a difference between the PlayStation 4 and a PC game.
Yeah, but to the uninitiated, there's no difference whatsoever.
They're both games, just like these are both VR. You know?
It's because we play so much VR that we notice the difference. Like when I put on the Rift, I was like, my sense of presence is way more. But like the first time I put on my PlayStation VR, my mind is blown and I was like lost in another world. So it's all just a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But I think that with the PlayStation VR right now, I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just it's balancing right now on like a border where it's bad, but it's not bad, you know, where it's like this is acceptable. It's not acceptable for consumers, you know, and that's why I think Xbox wants to wait. Because because they could have brought out one as well next to the PlayStation VR, but they could have totally screwed it up, you know, where they brought something out of it. Yeah, so they were just careful.
And Sony was in an okay place to like shoot something, but Sony's been trying to make a VR headset for like 20 years now.
Yeah, and I mean,
they had
Sony
has
like
one back in the early 90s.
I mean, Sony had like had the light tracking, and Xbox didn't really do much with that, like, you know.
Well, they were too focused on Kinect at the time.
Yeah, and Kinect had been so
was
cool.
A real choice piece of machinery right there.
I mean, Kinect was awesome for non-gaming purposes. Like the stuff that I saw like artists do with it blew my mind. But I mean,
but that's the interesting thing about these headsets that are coming out from these companies is that they're not really marketed as gaming headsets, you know, whereas you look at the HTC Vive, you look at the Oculus, you look at the PSVR, they're advertised as gaming headsets, whereas these aren't really in any of their sort of like reveals. It's not really sold as a gaming headset. Although on the flip side of that, Microsoft did announce that 343 Industries is going to be bringing Halo to these mixed reality headsets. So in some sense, they're not advertised as gaming headsets. Microsoft saying, "Hey, this massive franchise that we've invested loads of money in is coming to those platforms." And I think the interesting thing will be whether they keep that as an exclusive for mixed reality headsets, and then shut the door on HTC Vive and Oculus Rift.
Yeah, it's just for me, like personally on my channel, like a lot of people are asking me, "Hey, are you going to get like the HP one? Are you going to get the Acer one?" And I'm like, in the end, but like buying them all makes no sense. But you just confuse the consumers. Like kids want to buy like a headset now. They see this too, like popping up in their results. what should they do with it? Because there are people going to buy it with like high expectations. Well, it's more like a development kit, you know, but they are also very vague about what it is and who should buy it, you know. Who are they targeting? It's not really clear, you know. So it's like, I had the same thing. I was confused myself. It's like, what is this? Is this for like a developer? Is this like something consumer? Is this for when I want to go on Steam VR to play a game, or Oculus Home, or, you know, what is this? Like, who needs to use it?
Yeah.
And there's so many.
It's
That's
for people
the
with
thing.
laptops too. Yeah.
Yeah, there are like
Which is
5 or
nuts.
6 of
that
those.
because that's what. Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, and I don't know which one is which, and 2 of them are ugly. So like, I would never even consider them just because they look bad. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, and I don't know anything about anything. So
Yeah,
like,
so-
I'm looking at it, and same as you, Nate. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But there
the
is
other
a
side-
difference between the build of them, right?
There has to be. There has to be.
Yeah.
Because they're made by different companies, so there's got to be a little something different.
So the specification seems very similar throughout the range. They've all used the same screen technology, refresh rate. All don't have audio, so they've got similarities between them, and they're all around the $399 with controllers mark. Personally, I think out of all of them, the Asus one looks the best because it's kind of got some really cool polygonal design on the front. Looks really nice, but the others kind of look a bit lame, in my opinion.
But then still, like, what means looks cool? Like, you don't know what it does.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like them too. Some of the designs are really nice, but I don't know if I'm the one that should own one, you know? It makes it very, very confusing right now on the market.
It'd be interesting to throw this question out to the people in the chat. Like, I wonder what their opinions are of, you know, these headsets coming out. Does it confuse them? Is there one that stands out that they're going to be interested in? So chuck a message. Let us know what you guys think. Be intrigued to know.
Yeah.
And at the meantime, it's actually, in a way, it's good that you see other players join the market, and it looks like it's going to be much more like the phone industry than actually like the console industry. That you have like, you know, the high-end phones like the iPhone and the high-end Samsungs, and those are on the HTC Vive and the Oculus. And then you will also get lower-end phones like, you know, I don't know, what kind of other lower-end phones are some, but the ones that are cheaper,
Like a Nokia.
yeah, and like the gear will actually split itself in those kind of ranges, and VR will work on all of them, but it will be better for the high end. I think it's that direction that it's going.
And to play off of what you're saying there, not only does it make sense like in terms of the range, but it also makes sense because even though it is annoying just how many headsets there are, it is definitely its own category because you have like the phone VR, right? So you got Samsung Gear VR and then the other billion that have been made now. And then you have these inside out ones, which theoretically wouldn't need its own like high-end PC. And then you have like the ones that require like either a console or a PC that can use them. So it makes sense to have this new area built for VR. Like it was ripe for the taking, but it does confuse people who have no idea what they're looking for. So it's kind of like a give and take situation.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like
So,
if it even like confuses the consumer, then like it confuses me. Like, and I could consider myself as a VR expert, and I have no idea what this is and where it's coming from, and suddenly, but I don't know. It's interesting, and I think it will like get a place into like the VR community. It kind of sounds like this came a little bit too early. And it also came in a way where they maybe they want to confuse people, or maybe they don't really know what to do with it yet. They're just like, we made this, we don't know who wants to have it, and we just throw it out and see how it goes. I don't know, maybe that could be it too.
It feels corporate. You know what I mean? It feels like corporate VR to a degree. Like I haven't really seen a lot of excitement even anywhere online for the Windows like mixed reality headsets. I mean, I've seen some of us talk about it, but in general, like I feel like there was a lot of like excitement. Like the Rift coming was like everyone's really excited for it to finally come in the Vive. Same thing in PlayStation VR. Woo, everyone was excited. They sold out like the first day, but like Windows mixed reality just seems like woo.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the comments right now, and Udegby Andre says, I would rather get a new version of the HTC than mixed reality headsets.
Yeah, and that's what people are gonna say. Like, if they're already throwing $400 or something at it, why wouldn't they just throw an extra 200 and get something way better?
Yeah, and that kind of brings me on nicely, talking about new hardware. You know, we've got Oculus Connect coming up on the 11th to the 12th of October. It's going to be in San Jose in California. And I'm hoping to go myself. I've applied to go as press. So we're just waiting to see if my application gets approved so I can go. But again, like, that would be super interesting if Oculus came out with some swinging punches and said, hey, check out our next gen headset. You know, we've got faster resolution. We got like a inside out tracking with the Oculus now. We don't have to worry about sensors anymore. You know, that would be
wireless,
sweet.
It's got a scent device in it so you can smell the world. Yeah.
I mean, there are two things that are going to happen for sure. Like that wireless headset, they showed it last year. They had like a wireless. It was not a Rift. It wasn't a Samsung Gear VR. It was something in between, and it was like a wireless headset. They didn't really speak that much about it, but yeah, I think that wireless is going to be a thing. Maybe I think it will be like the TPcast, like an add-on, because they don't want to release their new headset yet, because that one is going to have it as a standard thing, I'm sure, where you can just plug the cable out and in, and that's it. And the second prediction I have is that they will come with like an AR application for Facebook.
Okay.
So something, because we got Snapchat doing AR, we got all those. So and they already got
once
some
the
AR
iPhone
stuff.
8 hits, that's when it's going to happen. The iPhone hitting, because of how they have the camera set up and they're really going to push AR, that's when it's going to be in your largest general consumer's pocket, and AR will finally not take off. It's going to take a while, but that's going to get it in everybody's hands and make it like plausible.
But for me, like, AR, I think it has its place, you know, but I find VR more interesting purely because you're immersed in the world. Like, AR overlays what's in my real world. And quite frankly, when I've had a rubbish day at work, you know, I want to escape and be immersed in a different world.
exactly.
You can only do that in VR. You can't do that in AR.
And that's
like
also
AR would be awesome in cars and stuff. Yeah, I don't see it for gaming. I see it for driving my bike or something.
Indeed, for technical appliances, is going to be huge, and educational purposes, and all of those. There's a huge market for that. But indeed, for pure gaming, I mean, a lot of people, and including myself, they play games to escape a sort of the real world.
Yes.
I think, I mean, AR will have a place there as well, but it will not be their main appliance.
It will not be hardcore gaming. It's just where someone maybe can play like a game when they're sitting in the bus waiting and they play a round of Candy Crush. Like, there will be applications for that.
Where they can like look at the birds. Yeah.
No, but and I mean, don't forget, like, gaming, the gaming industry and all the gamers together, they are always the first ones that fund some new technology. That's always like the main way. They will promote it for
after porn.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure how that's gonna work in AR, but you know, there's always there is a rule. You know, the porn rule. You all know it. But no, but I seriously think that they are going to promote it a lot, like with games together, to get people like buying it a bit, and just, you know, they want some gamers too, because in the end, then they can just go further than, you know, it's the same. Like, for me, I think that like
the tag would be cool.
Yeah. But it's the same.
So just to go around the table then, Oculus Connect. Do you think Oculus are going to come out with a new headset announcement or new hardware announcement of some kind? Nathie?
I think it's going to be like some kind of TPcast gadget thing.
Okay.
Maybe something with an updated controller, like a development kit that rolls out. But the rest will all like not be consumer stuff, just developer things like, hey, we are working on this, we are working on that. But yeah, controllers for sure. I mean, wireless has to be something that is going to happen, and that wireless headset they showed before is going to come back with more updates and maybe a new app.
It would be interesting. It'd be interesting if they come back and with something that's similar to the Knuckles controller with the kind of the grip function. That would be cool if they come back swinging with something that would, you know, combat that. That would be good.
I wonder if they'll get like a standardized like weapon anytime, like the PlayStation VR, because that aim controller really is fun to use and work, but it's not necessary. You're right. If you have good hands like the Knuckles, then you don't have to worry about it, because you could like
I would still like that,
Simulate
like
it.
a mount, like
Yeah.
a mount for the controller or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they are going to, because
Oh,
that's
okay.
already main priority. But I mean, yeah, it's welcome. It's welcome in the end.
Yeah.
I think they will just announce some new games, apps, and
Yeah.
maybe Oculus Home, like big update. Because in my opinion, Oculus Home really needs to get updated. It needs to happen.
True.
And yeah, that's about it. I don't know. We will
I
see.
think as well, like with Oculus, they really need to think about how they allow us to record the footage. I think that's been a problem for a long time, and I know that me and Nathie have talked about it before. But the view that you get when recording with the Oculus is not the same as the HTC Vive. The field of view is greatly reduced, and plus it looks down at a funny angle. So that's another thing. Certainly if I got the opportunity to go to Oculus Connect, not that anyone's probably going to listen to an idiot like me there, but that would be something that I would try and shout about, because as a content creator, it's really important. That you want it to look the best for your audience, and ultimately you're selling VR on behalf of like these companies, and they should be the ones that are helping you create your content and make it look better.
True. That's the spirit, of course.
Yeah, man.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, for sure, man. They really should work on that field of view, because that's nuts that you're just looking down. And now that you guys said it, PlayStation does it too a little bit.
Right.
So like the view for it is just like brought down a little bit.
Yeah, you
Now
mean the
people always-
recording thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
PSVR
Well,
does it
what
too.
PlayStation does though is that the image quality on screen is way better.
Yeah, well, if you're live streaming, it's like the worst ever. But yeah,
Oh, really?
exactly.
No.
Yeah, you have to like download your footage to the system for you to get like a solid quality. It can't stream. It streams like low 720.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I just want to move on quickly to something that I've got here. So I'm just going to show you guys something that I picked up this week. Not many people have seen this before, and I hadn't seen it myself either. And it's these are new replacement headphones for the Oculus Rift. They're made by JBL. You've got these ones which are in-ear ones, and you've got these ones here which are the over-ear ones. I haven't tested these personally yet. I'm planning to do a video where I get the official Oculus in-ear headphones, and I'm going to compare them all in a sort of a video comparison video. But it's weird because, like, although these things exist, and like, let's be honest about it, JBL is a big company, right? But there was like literally zero marketing around these. Like, I literally had never heard of them before. So it's interesting to see that these products even exist. But what do you guys think? Are you happy with the audio quality of the Oculus? Would this be something you guys would be interested in, or is it just an unnecessary product and maybe that's why they're not as popular?
Well, I think it much depends on the price, of course.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, these things are expensive, right? I'm going to chuck that out there. These are like 120 quid, British pounds, so almost like 180 US dollars. These ones are 70 pounds, so probably around 110 US dollars. So,
so you're spending, yeah.
That's a lot of money,
Too
man.
expensive.
Exactly.
Just for some headphones. I've heard the stock ones are nice.
The quality is more than good enough. More than good enough.
You know what that makes me
If it can
wonder?
get better, nice, but for me, that's not really a main priority.
No.
I wonder what the percentage of people who own Vives who got the deluxe audio head strap is, because that would probably shine a little bit of light onto how much people really care. Because the Vive, like the audio that the Vive comes with is not only so annoying because it'll like fall out of your ear constantly and like get in your way with that wire. But I mean, if not a large portion of people are upgrading the deluxe audio head strap, then I would imagine that something like the Oculus, which already has those nice like on-ear ones, and like as long as the audio quality is decent, most people probably wouldn't care.
No.
Yeah.
For me, the headphones are actually less of a problem, but it's more like the build of the head strap and the comfortability of it than that makes it worth it.
Yeah.
So are you guys still using your deluxe audio straps?
Absolutely.
That's so much
It's
nicer.
way better than the headset that it comes with.
Yeah, that's
Okay, interesting.
No, but I think like the whole
I,
JBL thing, I don't think they really like looking to sell them. It's more like they are like the first company that shows like we can like build high-end like audio for you
Third
for
party.
your headset, and that's interesting, because it's like another market because JBL and Sennheiser and all those other they try to target certain people, and by doing this they offer it. It's available. So if you want, you can get better quality. Like let's say if you are like an artist and you are making music in VR, then maybe you want to buy JBL and not the standard. You know what I mean? So there must be. It's more like it's there, and if it sells or not, that's a second, I guess. It's more like they're just showing.
It's more like audiophile, exactly.
Yeah, and you know, one of the guys from the chat, Joe Wolf, he says, yeah, they're too expensive. The built-in Oculus ones work well enough. And, you know, on the face of it, I agree with you, dude. I haven't actually tested these yet. So, you know, they could be amazing. But, you know, my initial thought was when I saw these was that it's probably an unnecessary product because, like you guys have already mentioned, you know, the audio on the Oculus is good enough anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what these things are like and how well they perform. But, you know, I'll let you guys know in the next week.
Yeah.
I wonder how long until the like headsets are bundled with Bose speakers, because I feel like everything's bundled with Bose these days. They're like Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
Oculus featuring Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
The thing what I do like about it is that like a third party developers are getting into this. Like, I mean, I've been saying that since like day one for the Vive as well, the Vive controllers. I can't wait until like third party people get in there and like start making like, you know, real decent accessories for it. And there are already like a few out there, but they're more like on like the Chinese market or like the, you know, the home build market. Some guy with a 3D printer, but like really support by like, you know, serious companies for third party stuff. I would love to see that.
Yeah. So moving on, then I just want to ask you guys go around the room and find out what games you are playing this week. What stuff have you been experiencing?
So I will start. Why not, for the heck of it? Just because no one's talking. I played The Lost Bear in VR on PlayStation VR, and honestly, I gotta say, it's a beautiful game. It's beautiful.
The Lost Bear?
Yeah, hand painted, gorgeous game. It's like a diorama box where you get to look around the room. It actually surprised me completely, and it's only like $12.
I heard some good stuff about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this a PSVR exclusive, or is it on?
I think right now it is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that one looks really nice. But do you think it's gonna come to PC, or is it just gonna stay on there? Like, what do you think?
The way it's set up, like the mechanics of the game, you need the PlayStation controller, but there's always a chance they could bring it to PC if it does well.
Yeah.
So see the controller? You see the controller in game as well?
Yeah, you see it in game, and there's like mechanics where you have to like lock it in place and like crank like a crank.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Well,
which is fun. Yeah, it was a surprising game.
Let's see, what did I play? I played Killing Floor, where I kind of broke my controllers. Co-op was really nice, but the issue I had with like Killing Floor is like the co-op is nice, but the fact that the game is so short, plus that the locomotion. This is like the first game where locomotion is like it's there and it kind of works. But you get stuck all the time. So you really notice that it's a teleportation game. And they made it for that. But I got stuck a lot of times, you know. So I've been asking Tripwire, like, hey, can you fix this? They were like looking into it. So hopefully that is going to happen. I also played the Tomb Raider demo, you know, where you can play the classic, but then as a remaster. Very intense for your PC, but super fun to play. Really beautiful. I mean, I love like my favorite genre of VR games is always like third person. It's so magical. It's like looking into a shoebox. Like when I was little, I was building like a world into a shoebox and then looking through it, like that kind of like, you know. So that's really nice. And last but not least, I played The Gallery Episode 2, like a preview, and I'm very excited for it. But again, like Mike said, hopefully it is going to meet up its expectations for like, because episode 1 was kind of like a slow start. So hopefully like episode 2 is going to be a little bit more powerhouse, you know?
Yeah, that's right. So like, so this week I played the Gallery episode 1. You know, I got a key because they're pushing obviously episode 2 coming out soon, and I wanted to play the first game before playing the second game. And I think from, you know, I thought it was okay, but I think it's apparent that it was a year-old game, and I found a lot of the game quite boring. There were some really good puzzle elements to it, but I found a lot of parts of it, I was just standing there kind of not really interacting with anything, just found it a bit boring. But, you know, it has been a year since it's been out, so it kind of
That's the thing.
That's
the thing a little bit, because I remember for me that was like, I think it was actually the very first game that I played when I had my Vive. They were also one of the first companies to send me a key, so it was one of the first actual games that I booted up in the Vive, and just to see like that in virtual reality, and to see my hands, and to bring out that backpack and to shoot those fireworks, that was insane. At that point, I can imagine indeed, like now is a lot less impressive, but back then it was mind blowing, literally.
Yeah, I have to say, like the inventory system, like it is brilliant. You know, that I love that backpack. You know, you get that, you open it up, you put items in there, you can manage your inventory. It's really, really nice. But there were just parts of it, I think, as well, like because I've played Form, which is such a great puzzle game. You know, when you play something like that and then play something like this, the puzzles just don't seem to, you know, hit you in the same way. But I think, you know, they've worked really hard on the Heart of the Emberstone, which is their second episode, and you know, I'm still excited to check it out. But I hope that it's just got that little bit more up to date kind of feel for it than the original had.
No, I get it. It's kind of hard to judge about, because it was also one of my first like games on the Vive, and for me, like it was all so new, so magical. You know, if I would play it now, I would be the same. Like, this is kind of, you know. But back then, I was like, really, I got a backpack, you know, and I really like have it on my back when I play games, you know, and I can just get it there and just put items in there. And especially, I think that's something they are still doing as one of the best developers. The way you grab something with your hands is really, really nice. Like how it just snaps onto your hand is very good. And the sound design, don't forget the sound design.
Yeah.
Dang, son.
I think I spent 20 minutes or 30 minutes alone in the tutorial just picking up stuff. And like looking at it.
I love picking things up and just throwing them. I just like picking anything I can up and just throwing it, because like,
that is the tutorial. You need to pick things up and throw them.
Yeah,
it's the best.
But hey, Mike, you also played like the Resident Evil demo, right?
Yeah, man, and that was crazy, because I saw that on the Oculus Reddit. And before I'd even finished reading the title, I was already downloading it and getting my stuff ready to record it. And I was so excited, because I'm a big Resident Evil fan, and particularly of the second one. I've got some really fond memories of Resident Evil 2. And this was kind of like a remake of the main hall, which is the Raccoon City Police Department's building. And it was a VR experience that made by a guy called Crying Horn. He sort of makes some really, really cool projects in VR. He's done an Alien Queen as well, which was really, really cool looking. So yeah, I fired it up, and you can have a look around the police station, which is kind of interesting. There's some creepy noises going on. But at the end, there is a giant licker at the end of the corridor, and you can go up to it, and it looks super, super creepy. And what I didn't realize was that when you put your hand near it, it actually goes to bite it off. And it really like made me jump. Like I didn't know that was going to happen. So I really, really enjoyed that experience. And I saw that you jumped into it as well.
Yeah. No, I got scared too. I watched your video, so I knew what was going to happen, and then still I got scared.
Yeah, like
you guys are gonna go crazy when the real Resident Evil 7 comes to like over the other episodes. If you haven't tried it out already, it is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna probably play it again on PC just because like I want to play it again. Like when the trailer just came out for the Gold Edition with all the like extras, I was like, oh, I just kind of want to jump back into that world.
Yeah.
Some of those scenes are going to be so intense.
Oh
it's
man,
really
it's
good.
nuts.
It is
really good.
Even and I'm not like the horror kind of player. Although I would like to get into a little bit more horror, you know, during the daytime with Disney music in the background or something. But yeah, it is very well done for Resident Evil.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You don't like the spoopy games?
Spoopy.
Well, it's not that I love watching you guys play them. I love watching you guys play them, but it's to be. I don't know. Sometimes I get maybe a little bit too immersed that I forget that I'm actually wearing like a headset, which is pretty great, but not if you get your hand bitten off or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing this week then, Rowdy?
What have I been playing?
Yeah,
Is that even a question? No, I've played actually quite a lot this week. I've played Prison Balls, obviously. I've played Out of Ammo Death Drive. Great game, really like it. I've played Daysim. Don't know if you guys know that one.
No.
I played some of that, and also The Mage's Tale from Oculus.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've played that one as well. I still need to release a lot of those videos, but yeah, I played those. And then The Tower was one that I played last week as well.
Yeah, The Tower was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed The Tower, man.
Yeah, it was a fun title.
The underestimated game on Oculus Home. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only like £4 as well. It's so cheap.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So what about you, Prometheus? What have you been playing? CSGO?
I got locked up recently. I've been playing a little bit of that Prison Boss.
Prison Boss.
Yeah, I actually did try it. I thought it. I gotta tell you, considering how much hype it had, I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna have a lot more humor and like quirkiness in its own like character, but other than like the Mr. Eggshell guy and like, you know, there's some funny stuff, and then the guy who comes up to your prison cell and stuff. There's not as much content there as I thought. I mean, you get to pound the little Rogaine looking dude, and then you know, I don't know. I thought there was going to be a lot more. It takes a while
as well, because you get to craft like so many more items. In the beginning, it's only like cigarettes and I don't know.
Cigarettes. You get to write love novels, romance novels. I'm talking 50 Shades of Grey times 2 squared, and then you get to make rope. And other than that, that's it. And you do that for an hour.
After that, when in the next prison you get alcohol and hookah. And then you also get cake and cookies.
Oh, and that's when the party starts.
From moonshine incoming.
And you need to like get like further and further, because all the actions, they get like a little bit more intense. Like you need to, for the cookies, you need to make the dough, you need to put the apples in, you need to fill it with water. And
that does sound intense.
And that kind of stuff.
And now I can barely contain myself thinking about all that.
Where I'm at, you need to make like erotic statues. So
wow,
great job.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
You could they should feature you on the Great British Bake Off. It's a super popular show over here.
The Rowdy Bake Off.
Yo, he's getting excited about like 3-step baking process.
Yeah.
You guys are not gonna believe what you get to do. You take the apple, you grind it down. I'm not kidding, you get to do it. It's like Rowdy, you gotta calm down. An apple pie.
But I mean, seriously though, like, what is like the magical effect of Prison Boss VR? Why is it so popular? Like, like YouTube wise, I mean, maybe a lot of people don't really like get the game. You don't know. I mean, I don't know the numbers either. But like, what's like the
Prison is.
I want to know, like, what is the magical? Like, is it because like there's always some kind of, I don't know. Rowdy, speak out, please.
What I think it's because it's like a management game, and that is generally I think what works well on YouTube as well, like just like managing stuff. A lot of the bigger YouTubers also often play like, you know, like those kind of like management games. You need to manage your food or manage your inventory or manage your whatever, and I think that's just a concept that works really, really well because it makes for more interesting gameplay because it's never exactly the same. Everyone plays it a little bit different, and I think that is what makes it a bit more popular.
Yeah, it's also. I also think that you got feel more like a connection between someone like, oh yeah, he picks this too, and he's doing it. I would do it the same, you know, like really feeling. And
also, I get like much more input now from my chat that said like, oh, you should do this, and next time you should make this. With the live stream as well, was really fun because people like kind of like try to. I have people in my Discord calculating what the most advantageous way to go about is. Like if I should sell more alcohol, I should sell more. Yeah, so because the price, it fluctuates. What is more advantageous to like invest more in cigarettes, invest more in alcohol, invest more, which I think is more interactive way of dealing with things. Yeah, I think that's why people like it.
But Brownie, my main question is: do you enjoy prison boss?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, hell yeah, good. So at least you're playing a game you like. Because it would suck if you were just like you got stuck in that cycle of routing the prison boss and you like hated it. Yeah.
No, I enjoy playing it. I really do.
Okay, good.
No, dude, in all fairness, like I know we take the piss a little bit, but you are killing it right now. So you know you're doing really, really well.
We're just all jealous.
That's it. Where you are just totally jelly. I need to find a sticker for this.
Peanut butter and jelly, boys.
Yeah, no, true.
Peanut butter and strawberry jelly. For sure. It's nuts.
YOLO.
YOLO.
Yeah. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We've been going for about an hour now, so it's probably a good time to start wrapping up. So if there's something you want to say it now.
Oh yeah. Real quick, just as a little PSA, if you live in Florida, get the hell out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's not safe. So like
grew up in
honestly,
Florida. My family
Don't
is
mess around
still
with
over
that
there. I'm pretty worried about that. I even went to USF, which is apparently where it's heading towards now, is Tampa, as opposed to the right side of Florida. But my family's in Sarasota too, so that's a big problem.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
I'm
please
worried
be
about what's
careful.
gonna happen.
Anyone
Don't
out
stay
there.
safe.
Yeah, stay safe. That's important.
Well, why are you guys complaining? I'm living in a country that is below sea level. So if we have one of that funny thing coming by, then my whole country is gone, okay? Like, seriously, though, like 50% of the
you're right,
Netherlands
you're right.
will be gone if something like that happens. It's
Luckily,
nuts.
you guys are up.
Like our country has been built on water,
Yeah.
you know, so.
That's nuts.
Can we
Smart.
just throwing it out there? If you do unfortunately demise in a hurricane or something, Nathan, can we divide your subscribers up so maybe we can all get a few?
I'm not sure there's anything.
Don't you already have access to his channel?
Dude, I'm out of business, man. Like Rowdy stole my whole like.
That's true.
Prison
I can
boss, the
stop.
warden's coming
So
in.
if I would go
Yeah.
to him instead, man, there's nothing to get anymore. He stole everything from me, so like he's the way to go.
He's milked you dry.
Yeah. First he became friends with me,
know-
and then he betrayed me in the end with his prison prison
what,
boss
Nathan?
stuff.
You know what?
Hey,
Nathan?
through
Top
Brazil.
10
You know what?
anime betrayals.
You know what?
Deal with it. Beautiful.
No, but I think that yeah, we can wrap up the podcast. Maybe it's cool to just let some people in the chat ask some more questions. I said that I like maybe didn't want to do like a Q&A, but let's see how it goes. I mean, guys, just give us a try and like ask something VR related, and yeah, let's see.
I'll keep an eye on the comments.
We got low latency, so yeah, you know.
Yeah, I got a
Give it
little
a
while
try.
I can hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually working quite well.
Yeah. It's true, because if I do a thumbs
I'm
up,
opening
it
up my
happens
phone
right
to
away.
look.
Here we go. Bam, got it. That's fast. Yeah, so let's see.
All right, guys, let's all wait in complete silence for the first question to roll in.
Yeah. Q&A hype.
Yeah.
Q&A hype.
Yeah.
Do this.
I don't suppose you guys like Sword Art Online.
Never played it.
Never played. It's a series.
Never watched it, you mean?
Yeah.
Or can
Oh,
you-
that's
Yeah.
a TV show.
Or can you
Yeah,
play
yeah.
it? Can you play it?
Yeah, it's fairly popular.
No, you can't play it. There's no game of it. But everyone
But
is
they
streaming
play
of
it
the
in the
game.
series.
I haven't played that TV show yet. Sorry.
Seems legit. Oh, wow. This is funny. Oh, we got a PSVR Frank related comment. I see
Yeah, I was
PSVR.
reading that one. That's more Oculus related.
Oh.
So they're trying to ask, what's the best size room for room scale?
The best size is the size that works for you.
Like Nathan's setup, you got like a 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter square.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that would be perfect, right? That's probably the ideal setup. For me, I play in a much smaller space. There's a lot of stuff in the way, but I managed. So I think it's just making the best use of your space. Like me, the only games that cause me issues are the Job Simulator one and Rick and Morty. I can't play those games just because of the small space that I play in. It's not actually this space here, just so you're aware. But you know, you just kind of, most games you can deal with it, even if you've got a small space, and even if you've only got 2 sensors, for example, on Oculus, you can play most, I would say 98% of titles with a small space using teleport and rotating with a stick.
Yeah.
You don't actually need that much space at all.
Yeah, I think that
So
like,
it's
is like 1.5 by 1.5, right?
Yeah. So you can deal with it if you've got a small space. That's not a problem.
No, that's true.
I remember when the Vive first came out, and some companies did not factor in that most people will not have the recommended amount of space. So when a chair in a room came out, it was so good. So I wanted to play the entire thing, but it was room scale, and they didn't have a way for you to teleport around yet. So I was like jamming my controller into the side of my bed, trying to like reach a little thing. It was amazing. I remember that.
Yeah, and I had that problem recently, actually. I think it was Nano Shift. I think that was that game. I tried to play it. I just couldn't play it because I don't have the space, and they didn't allow you to move freely with the joystick. So I just straight up couldn't play that game.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, man.
Duck Life is real. There's Wizzy Plays says, "Hey guys, I bought a Rift during the recent sale. Watched many of your videos that influenced my purchase. Question: so have you heard of that Other Suns game? How cool does that sound?" Other Suns.
Yeah, man. I have heard of that game. I featured it on my most anticipated Oculus releases video, and it looks really, really cool. It's a first-person shooter. Kind of looks like a little bit like Mass Effect. That kind of game.
Oh, that's the one where you have the spaceship, right? You can customize and do that. Yeah, that one does look pretty cool. It enters like an open beta, I think, for like a weekend or something coming up.
That's right. Yeah, so that does look pretty cool. It's definitely one that I'm looking forward to checking out. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's
let's do.
Yeah, that one looked really cool.
Let's do one more question and then we just wrap it up. Let's see if there's like if there's something really important, then do it now before it's too late. You know, if you need tips from Rowdy for like a prison boss, you know, then
making hookah. If you need to make hookah. Yeah,
I can make alcohol with water and an apple.
Wow, I like that. How do you do that? You know. No, what is your secret, man? I like that. Yeah, what do you do for a living? Yeah, I make like apple rum, you know, virtual apple rum all the time.
What do you do for a living? Well, do you have an apple on hand by chance?
Yeah, well.
I'll show you a thing or two.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We got some stuff. Yeah. Let's see. What should we pick, guys? Like, does anyone?
Who should we pick? I picked the unicorn, exactly. All right, where are we at? What kind of question?
Yeah. Be my guest.
I'm not looking again.
Okay, here we go. One for Frank. I have enough money to buy PSVR. What do you think?
Is it worth it to buy it?
Is it worth it to buy PSVR?
Is he running on an OG or is he running on a Pro would be your big thing too, because the Pro is going to run a little bit better if you got that. The PSVR is like a definite buy if you got a Pro, because why not? I mean, especially if you don't have a solid PC running. But honestly, we're reaching the time where there are over 100 titles for PlayStation VR out right now, and tons coming at the holidays. There's way more for Steam, don't get me wrong, but at least you're at the point where if you buy it, there's stuff for you to play. So yeah, I'd say why not? I mean, it's going to be a while before we see PSVR version 2, and it's going to probably be even longer before we see PS5. So unless you're thinking about getting a PC and like a higher end HMD, then now is the time to hop on board.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you have the money to buy a PC and a headset, then for real, like, you know, I would get the HTC Vive or get the Oculus. But if you're a little bit on a budget and you already have a PlayStation, then it'd be
yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's awesome.
Yeah,
you'll love it. Welcome to VR, dude. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. PS5X confirmed.
Yeah, PS5. Or if you've seen that like PlayStation 16 commercial they made like 5 years back,
yeah.
it's just like a joke. Yeah, that one's good.
It got me actually excited in the beginning.
Yeah. Right, me too. For the future, like, oh man, I can't wait until that's it.
Clickbait from
the past. Or we just like
past.
drop an eye drop of like a new game into our eye. Oh man, I got that Halo 27 right here.
Okay, let's do one more. It's from Martin Risby. If you could rename each other's channels, whose would you change and what would you change it to?
I think we all know the answer to this one.
I would change Rowdy's to...
You don't have to finish that sentence. We know what it is.
The prison boss warden.
Prison boss warden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like the virtual bold oasis maybe.
Yeah.
Virtually bald.
Virtually bald.
I would change Nathan's to "What's up, guys?"
My whole intro.
Maybe
my favorite is "Let's go."
Let's go. Let's go, TPPI.
And the only thing that Frank's doing is actually just a ringtone. The Frank Show, what?
Yeah.
The Frank Show, come on.
Oh yeah, man, I had somebody make me like a club version of that the other day. It's hilarious.
That was a cool question.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's time to end this podcast, like the first official one. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm sure we are going to do this every week, right? I'm just going to ask confirmation of my evil villain friends
I'm
here.
down.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool beans. So yeah, we talked about Noire, VR, GTA 6 VR. Hopefully that will ever happen in our lifetimes. Mixed reality headsets, JBL, Oculus headphones. That was a very interesting one. I mean, I didn't know about that one. And yeah, that's about it, right? That's all we talked about. Oh, yeah, and Oculus Connect. So we will see what that's going to bring us. We got like a live reporter there, as far as I know. So that's going to be handy, right? I mean, virtual
Hopefully,
races.
if they send me,
Oh
right?
man, heck yeah.
He's just
We'll have some
gonna
real footage
streak
from
on
the event.
stage to get their attention. Like, give me a free touch.
Yeah.
Get Frank and
Yeah.
Oculus. Here I am in my
Exactly.
full glory.
Help him.
Yeah, I'll be fighting for Frank's Oculus for sure.
Yeah. No.
Oh, well, thank you all, Mike.
Yeah. So anyway.
Hell yeah, you guys, that was a good show. That was fun.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So
Awesome,
yeah.
guys.
Now it's time to jump to the outro, and as I always say, and I see you guys next time. See you in the metaverse. Bye bye. See you later.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Aloha smooches.
Aloha.